Today in the mail I received my 1/4 inch cold rolled steel axles. Well, I'm going to use as axles. And my bearings for the C-Track roller assembly. Both bearings were broken. If you saw my previous posts, and the one axle was bent really bad, and the other one I noticed upon closer inspection today that it had a tiny little bend. So I don't have a bench vise anymore. I don't have any air tools anymore. Since I retired and moved to Ocean City, I don't have a lot of tools. I have my Snap-on toolbox and some tools, but not what I used to have. Anyway, so I did the internet search and I found Davis Machine Shop, which is in Berlin, about 10-15 minutes away from the house. I just left Davis Machine Shop, and it was a ghost town. The building looked like he had plenty of materials inside. I didn't get out and snoop in the close inspection of the windows, but I could see he had cabinets and stockpile. And then I said, well, probably should have called before I came over. So I called the number and it doesn't go through. So that kind of stinks. I am back from the machine shop. Since Davis was closed, I went to Mumford's Machine Shop up on Route 113. And they had a drill press, or a press, which I thought might be, well, actually that looks like that might be a little bent. I thought the press might be too much, so we used a vise that he had on his bench, since I don't have one here at home. I did go out and buy a C-clamp. I guess I could have tried that, but I'll try that for the, as you can see, right here is where they're going to be cut. I have the bearing on one side. It looks like it might have a little bend to it. He might have pressed a little too much there. But as you can see, put a small socket on the inner race and use the vise to press it. I think I might have overdid that one a little bit. Looks like it has a little bend to it. Anyway, it rolls real nice. Keep chasing. And I did the same thing for the other. Although this bearing, believe it or not, it feels like it has a little bump in it. It's not perfectly smooth. Just has a little tick in it. But anyway, so there's my two parts. I'll cut them at the 3-inch mark. Bevel the other edges here. You can see, maybe not too close. They're rough stock that was cut, round stock that was cut on a machine, so they're pinched. And it has to be ground off. We'll take care of that. Press on the 2 rods for main bearings. I will have 2 complete sets, enough to do both front seats. Of course, this is the old. Yeah, that one's bent. And nothing left on here but the race. You can see the race at the very end. Hold it in front of me. There we go. And of course we have some old bearing pieces. What's left? I've accounted for all 4 halves. So both bearings were broke in the front roller assemblies. I have 4 new ones that will be able to go on, and I'm going to do that tomorrow morning. I went over today and cleaned the tracks out real well with an LS2 just to give them a little bit of lube, but I wiped it out nice and clean. There's no ball bearing pieces, and I found the last piece of the other broken bearing on the right side of the seat track. So it's all set. Tomorrow I'll pop in the new pieces. Chet's going to come out and meet me at 11 o'clock, and we will get the seat in, rollers first with the seat bent up, not quite vertical, until we get to the notch. Then I'll drop the seat latch mechanism in that I cleaned up and oiled today with the LS2. So that's nice and clean and works really nice and free and easy, so that'll be good to go. Once we drop that in the track, then we will slowly return the seat to a horizontal position and put in the rear roller bearing assembly. Then I'll just have to get into the back seat and or get my at least head and shoulders into the back seat area in the footwell and put the stop pins in, stop safety pins in, the lock pins, and then I'll try it out. I also did clean up the lock mechanism, the little they look like little bullets that come off the square part of the stock, and I'll show you in a close-up picture. Cleaned all of them up, make sure they were nice and good and smooth, inspected the tracks, and they all look good. So we should be good to go tomorrow, and I'll be able to return the flight. So thanks for watching. I hope to have some video tomorrow of the installation, and we'll see how that goes. Thanks.